I had a really bad neck fracture. You know, one famous person that has a very similar injury, like Christopher Reeves, like the former like Superman actor, for example. He had the same thing. He became like a quadriplegic. And me and my buddy one day were just like, you know, stupid early 20s, right? Still learning, but we're like, let's see how many backflips we can do in a row. We're doing backflips off the park benches, and I hit my head like bang on, like on the backflip on the way down. Like I landed on my toes and went forward and like hit the front part of my head, and just like lying in bed and not being able to move, and just being told like you can't move because if you move, like you could die or you could compress your spinal cord. It kind of pushed me to, you know, the job that I do today and the approach that I take today, which is a very like, you know, you try to connect with the person, you know, you deal with the physical, yes, but there's also mental, emotional.
All right, so we're here in Toronto with Jason Lee. He is the founder of The Spot Rehab. Jason, thank you for being here.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm happy to be here. I'm super happy
Thank
to be
you for
here. You
coming.
have all these amazing guests, and then like there's me.
No, he's amazing. He's amazing, and you will see why.
Yes. So,
Shortly.
Jason, for our audience, can you tell them a bit about what you do?
Yeah, so I am a certified athletic therapist. For some of our American viewers, I might be like the sister profession is a certified athletic trainer. So we are the people that deal with like sport-related injuries. We travel with professional sports teams, that sort of thing. We do a little bit of strength and conditioning as well. But I do more private clinical practice. I don't travel around with teams anymore. And we have a clinic that has a team of a chiropractors, physiotherapists, athletic therapists, massage therapist, and we basically just treat all sorts of injuries with a specialization in sports, but that doesn't mean that we don't treat like the regular person.
Yeah, and they are amazing. We met him through my dad because he healed my dad's everything.
Yeah,
basically.
pretty much.
Yeah, I see the whole family now. So
Yeah,
three
yeah.
girls, I see grandma, mom, dad, everybody.
He
So,
saw us. He healed our
Yeah.
chubby knees. They even have knee problems. He
the
healed us
military
all.
neck, right?
Yeah. My friend still makes fun of me for that. She's still like, you have military neck. And I'm like, not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore. So I do Jason's exercises.
And we're talking with Jason about today is his 20s, and he's got some really cool stories about his young adulthood and how it got him to where he is today. So
Yeah.
for our audience, can you share a bit about that journey?
Yeah, so I'm turning 33 this year, so I'm out of my 20s now, but the 20s were like the most important time. Well, I mean, when I, 0 to 10, 10 to 20, like it's, I'm just a kid at that point, right? But really, you're there, it's sort of like early adulthood when it comes to your 20s. And that time, like I did school, of course, and all that. I spent my time working with my family business, and they run like a swim school.
Oh, wow.
So I learned a lot from my parents in terms of the business side, and then finished school, of course. Got hired on at the school to work in the sports injury clinic for a bit. And how the whole clinic started is I treated a lot of high level athletes that became pros, or they had injuries, and when they graduate, they didn't have a place to go. So they still wanted treatment from me, and over time, I didn't have a place, so I essentially treated them out of my parents' basement.
Oh my God.
And so I had a full-time job with the school. I had a part-time job with the college, the OCAA, which is the Ontario College Athletic Association. And then I part-time also saw patients in my parents' basement. So I saw friends, I saw like athletes that would graduate or friends of friends, and then it just kept growing and growing and growing and growing to the point where, I had to quit everything. Long story short, now we're going on 3 clinics now. So it got busy quick.
Yeah.
And
Certainly did.
time flew by. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my
And
God.
what advice would you give to somebody who wants to start their own business?
I mean, I think you need to really look at your own strengths, right? And look at your own community, look at the resources that you have around you, the connections that you have, and then try to leverage those as best you can to get like some form of footing somewhere, somehow. Like for myself, it was like, I have my parents' basement, it sounds kind of silly, but I tried my best to set up really nice, put a table there, but that's what I had at the time.
Yeah.
And luckily my parents have like a little bit of like a separate entrance for the basement. And then from there, just like leveraging the relationships that you have, try to really get yourself out there, market it, and just kind of take it a day at a time, because you don't build 3 clinics or more clinics or a really big business overnight. It really does take
Mhm.
time, and it comes a day at a time. So
Yeah.
kind of plan it out, try to improve one thing at a time.
Yeah.
And over time, it's just going to get better and better and better and better if you just put your best foot forward. And then just, there's a lot of things that I don't know and a lot of things that I had to ask for help from parents, from other friends, maybe like a friend that was doing a business major or a friend that's doing like, some other major. Really just being humble as you approach it,
Yeah.
and then just being really open-minded to understand that you don't know what you don't know,
Yeah.
and to again just improve a bit at a time as you go. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's
And
just
what did the marketing look like for you? Just
the
out of curiosity.
marketing, and for me, it was the more important stuff was like the word of mouth, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, it starts with one patient, and you do your absolute best,
Mm-hmm.
and then if you can get them better, maybe they might refer you your friend and then
Yeah.
their family members. I think word of mouth, especially in a service-based sort of business like I have, we don't really do virtual appointments.
Yeah.
It's all in person. So we're kind of confined to like maybe like 10 kilometers around the clinic.
Yeah.
And so really is just like treating people really well, treating people like human beings, not like, patient so-and-so,
Yeah.
like patient 100, whatever.
Yeah.
Getting to know them, getting to understand their needs, what's actually wrong with them. Because
Yeah.
I think what makes us different is we're not just focused on the physical.
Yeah.
I think part of people, being in pain and suffering is like, there's the physical, there's the mental, there's the emotional.
Yeah.
There's so many different aspects when it comes to people. And so just like looking at it more holistically,
Yeah.
I think that has really helped us grow.
Yeah. I mean, look at us, our whole family.
We can
Yeah.
attest to that
It
for
started
sure.
with my dad, and then it trickled into the entire family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So definitely.
starting this business, the Spot Rehab, did this was part of starting this because of the sports injury you experienced?
So I guess we'll backtrack a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess my whole life I was like a competitive swimmer, and in university I swam as well. And long story short, like me and one of my good friends of mine, we used to go to like a gymnastics gym on Fridays to do some stretching, and then it just so happens that the one of the people there, one of the instructors, he actually worked with Jackie Chan, so they do a bunch of stunts,
Oh my
That's
god.
right?
so cool.
Yeah, he was part of like the Jackie Chan team, and so we would learn like really cool things from him.
Wow.
One of which was like a standing back tuck, so basically a backflip, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have no problems landing those in the
Yeah.
gym, and it's totally fine. And me and my buddy one day were just like, stupid early 20s, right? Still learning, but we're like, let's see how many backflips we can do in a row. And so once you start doing a whole bunch, you get really dizzy. Like you can't really spot your landing, whatever, right? So long story short, like we're doing backflips off the park benches. And I hit my head like bang on, like on the backflip on the way down. Like I landed on my toes and went forward and like hit the front part of my head. And then so essentially what happens is your neck goes all the way back, and the vertebrae kind of like hit against each other.
Yeah.
And I had a really bad neck fracture, and one famous person that has a very similar injury, like Christopher Reeves, like the former like Superman actor, for example.
Oh my
He fell off
God.
of a horse, and he had the same thing. He became like a quadriplegic, like meaning
Wow.
you can't move your arms,
Yeah.
you can't move your legs. Thank God that didn't happen to me, but I had like a lot of numbness and tingling. Like there's different levels of like nerve compression, but instead of like the spinal cord getting compressed, what happened is like the vertebrae basically just like, it's called a burst fracture, where it just like kind of opens up as opposed to like, so it broke into a number of pieces. And through that experience, so went to the hospital, had to see a bunch of specialists, but I had to stay in the hospital for almost 4 months. So 3 months and
Wow.
3 weeks. And one more day. And just like lying in bed and not being able to move, and just being told like you can't move because if you move, like you could die, or you could compress your spinal cord, right? So
my God.
basically originally they recommended surgery to kind of fuse all the vertebrae together, but then I wouldn't be able to move my neck. And then so I stayed in the hospital. They put me in like a halo. If you watch
Wow.
Mean Girls before, like that
Yeah.
little whole suit with the
That's
thing
funny.
that they drill into your head, you have that
Wow.
crown. Like, so I wore that for a while. And then long story short, they put me in the halo. I was in that for a few months. Then I was in a hard collar, then a soft collar. and
Oh
then it
my
was all
God.
about like rehab. So
Wow.
Wow.
I went to a bunch of places that, they kind of put a heat pack on you. They put like a TENS machine on you. They just, I wouldn't say that they didn't care. Maybe they did care. Maybe there's the resources that were spread really
Yeah.
thin, or people don't really know how to deal with this type of thing. They don't see it often, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I went to like so many different places, and it kind of pushed me to, the job that I do today and
Yeah.
the approach that I take today, which is a very like, you try to connect with the person. You deal with the physical, yes, but there's also mental, emotional, so many things that people deal with.
Yeah.
And at that time, being so young, like being a varsity swimmer, like all that taken away, it's tough, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then being in a halo and all this stuff for like 2 years, everyone's looking
Yeah.
at you, right? And you
Oh
miss
my
out on
goodness.
you miss out on some important, like I feel those years, like everyone's having fun and doing things, like
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
kind of miss out a
yeah.
little bit on that. And then so
Yeah.
then, yeah, it just kind of helps shape the type of practitioner and the type
Yeah.
of work that I do now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you deal with that at such like a important time in your life? Like
Yeah.
2 years of that.
Yeah, like I'm really thankful that I have like such amazing parents and
Mhm.
two really caring brothers and a ton of friends.
Yeah.
Right. Like I always go back on that. Like without my friends and without my faith, I'm a Christian as well. Like without
Yeah.
prayer and meditation
Mhm.
and all my friends and family, like I definitely wouldn't have been able to get through that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do see the good that's come out of that.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
And bad things happen all the time, and it's like, how do we get through it? How do we persevere? How do we
Mhm.
push? And I know so many patients and friends and people in general that have gone through like really crazy things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's just about that perseverance, that community as well that helps you through it. Like I really needed my friends and family at that time, and
Yeah.
there's been many times where my friends and family have needed me as well. So it's
Mhm.
just about like building each other up, spurring each other on, encouraging each other, and being there for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
During that recovery period, did you think about what you wanted to do next? Like, I'm sure you had a lot of time to think.
Yeah. So even like out of high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I had a general
Mm.
field that I wanted to go into, and that I knew I liked sports and I was a competitive swimmer. So someone recommended to me that I just maybe do like a more general field and then figure out
Mhm.
Yeah.
in university what you want to specialize in. So I did like a general kinesiology and health science
Yeah.
Mhm.
degree, and through there, like you take courses like physiology, anatomy, and so I shadowed a bunch of people like optometrists, pharmacists. I shadowed some doctors, and
Yeah.
I didn't really actually find out what I really, really wanted to do until my injury and what happened afterwards.
Mm.
So, yeah, it's kind of shaped who I am and my approach to how I treat and also my outlook on life.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
advice would you give to somebody who doesn't really know what they want to do with their life?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say kind of like what I I think shadowing is a really important thing
Mhm.
because everything is an opportunity. Even though I shadowed an optometrist or a pharmacist and I really didn't like it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? I thought pharmacy was kind of boring.
Yeah.
But then you find out really what you don't like. And
Yeah.
so you can sort of like
Yeah.
hone in like, okay, these are sorts of things that I don't like.
Yeah.
And I think life itself kind of shapes you and pushes you towards a particular direction.
Mhm.
And then it's up to you to sort of like fine tune that. And it's okay to like to fail,
Yeah.
and it's okay to like pick the wrong thing. I know so many friends that in high school, like you're so young, I don't really know how people can decide what they want to do.
I
Yeah.
know. It's
Like
so
I don't
true.
know very many people that are like, this is what I want to do. Like,
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
this in grade 7, and then like I want to be like a policeman in
Yeah.
grade 7,
Yeah.
and they go in and do that. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
Mm.
It's
right?
rare.
It's so rare.
Yeah.
And I have so many friends that took some degree
Yeah.
and then they just went like a completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
different
We hear
route.
that a lot.
That's something
Yeah.
we've learned in this podcast. Apparently, it's like 50% of people don't use their degree
Yeah.
in their career.
And they do something
Yeah.
completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, do you think that injury was your rock bottom moment in your 20s, or is there another moment that feels like more of a rock bottom moment?
I think I think so. Just before that injury happened, I was hanging out with my buddy because I was actually really really sad because of a breakup.
Mm.
Oh.
So I think those two things combined
Yeah.
was tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was
yeah.
one after the other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it
Oh,
was like
man.
my third year into university at that time, undergrad, and I was with my girlfriend at the time from like grade 10 all the way to like
Wow.
third year. So
Wow.
like kind of yeah. And then
Yeah.
when that ended, that was tough, and then compounded on top of that, like I was injured and kind of like you know, my parents and friends really supported me,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but they also have work and school.
Yeah.
So like when I'm there, like it was amazing. They had like this one. My best friend made like a little Excel sheet, and like
Oh my
people would make
God.
sure that someone's like hanging out with me at times and
Oh,
whatever.
that's so
So it was really
nice.
good. They would come. We would play board games.
Yeah.
You know, have dinner together. And the hospital people were like super nice about it too.
Oh,
No,
that's
that's
good.
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
That's really
So
good.
they got to know like all the nurses and some of the doctors and stuff like that. So, really good. Um, yeah, I had some really good friends. But yeah, it was a tough time. Those two things combined.
Yeah.
Would
yeah,
you
Yeah.
say that you felt really lonely and alone? Like, what was it that you were dealing with that made it super hard, aside from the situation you were in?
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I felt alone because I had like all my friends and family. I just
Yeah.
felt like my world at the time was kind of like just like
Yeah.
because my identity was kind of like I'm a swimmer. I do these
Mm.
things like, um, and so with injury, it's kind of like okay, what now, right?
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure at the time when I was actually injured what I wanted to do,
Yeah.
Mm.
right? So it's like so I thought I was gonna marry this girl.
Yeah.
I don't really know what I'm gonna do with this degree.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't really find a lot of passion in like optometry, pharmacy, or all these other
Mhm.
things that I shadowed. I actually did shadow a physiotherapist, but the profession is so broad. Like you can just be
Yeah.
like working with. There's like pediatric. You work with kids. There's
Yeah.
sports related injuries. There's like stroke. There's so many different types of things, and I think I just shadowed a person that wasn't that didn't really enjoy their job,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
I didn't really like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess the uncertainty of that time,
Mm.
and I also felt really bad. I felt like I was putting a lot of stress on my parents and on my
Mm.
friends. Like I couldn't give back to them.
Yeah.
And my mom was so stressed early on that she got hospitalized too. Like she has like a when she gets very stressed, she has like a GI bleeding disorder.
Ooh.
Oh,
So like she
no.
had like really low blood pressure. She wasn't eating well. Like she was just really stressed about me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because early on we're like unsure, like okay, what's gonna happen? Like, does he need surgery? Like,
Yeah.
is the numbness
Yeah.
gonna go away?
Yeah.
Like I wasn't completely able, like I was able to move, but I had like altered sensation and I was
Yeah.
really weak through my hands. Like, yeah, I felt a little bit helpless and I felt like I was a big burden to my friends and family
Mhm.
because I was putting a lot of added stress on them. Like I
Yeah.
hospitalized my own mom. Like I felt like these things were my fault.
Mm.
I felt like also the breakup was my fault too,
Mm.
even though it wasn't.
Yeah.
In hindsight, you
In
can see that now.
hindsight.
yeah, yeah, I just felt like I wasn't in control of anything. I didn't know what I
Yeah.
wanted to do, and there was just a lot of uncertainty
Yeah.
at that time.
I'd
Yeah.
say that's rock bottom.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd say
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
really
Yeah.
hard.
Do you
Yeah.
have any tips for anyone? Because I feel like that's something a lot of people actually go through is like
Mhm.
someone that they date all through high school and then maybe break up in college in their 20s.
Mhm.
Is there any advice you give to someone who is going through that?
And
Yeah.
more broadly, navigating uncertainty, because I think it's a very relatable
Yeah.
feeling.
Yeah.
Even right now, like one of the most important things to me is like my relationship with me and my wife, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so yeah, relationships mean so much to people,
Mhm.
right? So that's one thing. I think another thing is like career. Like
Mhm.
career is like something that like matters. Like what are you gonna do with your life?
Yeah.
How are you gonna make money? How are you gonna survive in this crazy world, right?
Yeah.
And then of course like your friends, your social networks, all those things. I'm the type of person that's like really loyal and I understand that things are never going to be perfect.
Yeah.
So when you're in a relationship, even though things aren't really going well, in my mind I'm like, oh, we just have to work really hard. Like
Yeah.
you have to try, you have
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
we can sort of like compromise a little bit, help each other out. Like we
Yeah.
can get through this. That's sort of like my mentality.
Yeah.
Because I have like really loyal friends and my parents are like,
Yeah.
kind of like that. Like my parents will do anything for us.
Mm.
And so I kind of adopted that mentality
Yeah.
Yeah.
of like love is like really important. Like this,
Yeah.
But in hindsight, when you look back, it's like, yeah, there were things that made this relationship not work.
Yeah.
Right. So, you can give your best efforts, you can try, you can do all these things, but if it doesn't work out, that's okay. And like and to this day, like me and my ex-girlfriend are still friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good thing, right? So I just think that you have to like navigate with like peace in mind, with humility in mind, with like
Mhm.
open, like an open mind,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that yeah, to understand that, hey, you know what, it's okay if
Yeah.
yeah, I think even at that time you just have to really be able to stand on your own 2 feet
Yeah.
and really be like okay as yourself,
Yeah.
and really be happy with yourself, comfortable with yourself, all
Yeah.
that. And at that time I can look back and say like I wasn't. I think I put
Yeah.
my self-worth, my identity in like being a swimmer, being with this particular girl,
Yeah.
that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so more broadly, I think uncertainty in general, it's just like if I could go back to my 20s and like tell myself something, I'd probably be like, you know, life basically comes a day at a time.
Yeah.
And you just got to go a day at a time, right?
Mhm.
And you don't have to think so far ahead. Like I can only do what I can do today. Like, and let's say I have like a big project to do, right?
Yeah.
There's no way I can do all of it in this one day, but at least I can do a little bit at a time. I can
Yeah.
improve a little bit at a time. I can,
Yeah.
just like one step forward at
Yeah.
a time. Yeah. If the future came all at once, yeah, it'd be like crazy.
Yeah.
Like what do
Yeah.
you do, right?
So true.
Yeah.
But a day at a time is it's manageable and you'll get
Yes.
through
Yeah.
it.
I like that, and
Yeah.
that's something that I feel like we're learning as we're going. Is it's like take everything one day at a time. Like it's
Mhm.
like like don't like even we joke even like with our to-do list. Like we're learning to like okay, don't put like 15 things that you're not going to get done on your to-do list for the day.
Yeah.
Break it up.
Break it up.
Look at the week and be
Don't
like, okay.
set yourself up for failure.
Yeah. No, literally. So I really like that you said that.
Yeah.
And what do you feel like made you find your independence after that period of your life?
I think it's just being okay. At that time, you spend a lot of time by yourself. Yes, you have
Yeah.
all your friends, you have your family, but they have to go to work, they have to go to school,
Mhm.
and so when you're in bed, just like you can't. I couldn't even sit up. You just have to
Mm.
like lie down,
Yeah.
and they had this like little thing that kind of like straps your head down,
Mm.
so you don't move your head. That was like early days, and then they
Oh, God.
they took that away, and I could like
Did that make
lean
you
up a little
claustrophobic?
bit. Did it make me what?
Claustrophobic?
No, just more really annoyed. I don't know, it's
You're like, I
really
can't move.
frustrating. I
I
can't
don't-
move. And then it became funny, but then it's not funny. But then it's
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
very funny, but it's not funny at all.
It's not funny in the
yeah,
moment.
Yeah. And then like, you're trying to move around a little bit, like so you're not so sore. Because
Oh,
you're in like
right.
one position.
Yeah.
Right? Just picture like sitting for all day, like you're super sore and super
Yeah.
uncomfortable, right? Yeah, you do that for like a couple weeks. It's really bad. A couple
Yeah.
months, super bad,
Yeah.
right? But I mean, at that time, I didn't have any of that. Like I was relying on my
Mhm.
parents and my
Mhm.
family and my friends, and that network to help me out.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, like it's just kind of like a slow rebuild.
Yeah.
But knowing that I have like so much support,
Yeah.
you just got to keep going.
Yeah.
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 Do you feel like your career helped you find your independence at all? Like diving into something that had nothing to do with, like I feel like your career can actually be very personal to you. I mean, for you it was, right? Like it had to do with your injury. Do you feel like that helped you find your independence at all?
What do you mean? What do you mean by independence?
By identity, right?
I mean,
You
yeah, like identity. Like you
Like
were saying you put your identity in your girlfriend in swimming.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. You know what? I think I would say like my purpose. I think my
Okay.
purpose.
Yeah.
I think my purpose is to, like in my work is to just be the best practitioner that I can be.
Yeah.
To use my own experience of what I went through, and try to relate to the people that I see on a daily basis. Right.
Yeah.
Right out of school, I also worked in a chronic pain clinic.
Mm.
Chronic pain is like, when our health system in Canada says like, there's nothing we can do for you. There's no surgery.
Wow.
There's
Mm.
no it's either medication or this program that we were a part of. And this
Mm.
program was for, again, people who are like, maybe they had car accidents, maybe they're like post-cancer, or maybe they
Wow.
have like really bad arthritis.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And it was government funded, and we would treat these people with all these chronic injuries.
Mhm.
And that experience really opened my eyes that, these people aren't just dealing with physical things.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are dealing with a lot of grief, and then they
Mhm.
have like neck pain and all these different places because they're so anxious, they're tight,
Yeah.
all these things, right? So that kind of helped me shape like, hey, you know what? Like I learned in school, it's all about physical.
Yeah.
Here is like here is the evidence-based practice,
Yeah.
right? But sometimes how much better would someone feel if you just gave them a hug?
Yeah.
Actually, right? Like someone, like
There's an
so much,
emotional side.
exactly. There's so much
Yeah.
more to just like an ankle sprain than like the ankle sprain, right? Like
Yeah.
people are like,
Mhm.
oh, I can't play in these games. Oh no, the world's falling. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So many things. Or like someone has a really traumatic thing in their life, and then they have chronic pain,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like not explainable. Well, maybe they're like not getting good sleep. Maybe they're really stressed about other things, right? So I think my purpose, or I find my identity in like just um, uh, trying my best to help my patients in any way. Really,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it sounds like, you went from a place of, identity being super important, being caught up in things that were kind of outside of your control
Yeah.
to finding a purpose. And
Yeah.
that was greater than, who you were on any given day, which
Yeah.
sounds a lot more powerful than what you had previously before the purpose, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also realize that like I'm I think life is pretty fragile. Like having
Mhm.
gone through something like that, and
Yeah.
if I'm able to and I'm healthy and I'm okay now, like I want to try to help as many people as I possibly can.
Yeah.
Like not just in work, like my friends, family, or whoever, because there's definitely going to be a time where I'm going to need some help too.
Mm.
Right?
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's about like just forging really strong relationships with your friends, with your family, with whoever in
Yeah.
business, and then really spurring each other on, encouraging each other,
Yeah.
Yeah.
growing together, that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
Would you say that your friendships taught you what you were looking for in a relationship on some level because they were so loyal and so supportive of you in those really hard moments?
Yeah, absolutely. I learn from my friends and family all the time. I think your environment kind of shapes you as well,
Mhm.
and I think you can also make an impact in your environment. So it goes both ways. But yes, definitely, like the love and the loyalty and the support that I experienced,
Yeah.
definitely serves to make me more like that as well. It just
Yeah.
when you're in that type of environment where like like iron sharpens iron,
Yeah.
it's like you can just take it to there's no limit.
Yeah.
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 And would you say your definition of success has changed throughout your 20s? Like now that you're in your 30s, would you say your definition of success was different in the beginning of your 20s to like versus now?
I think in my 20s, I think everyone just wants to make a lot of money. Like I think that's just kind of like what you think about. Like I don't know, as a kid, it's like, oh, I want cool cars and I want to make a lot of money and whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then now it's kind of like I just want to do a really good job at what in the things that I do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I want to excel as much as possible and I want to keep growing. So
Yeah.
this idea of like growth, better every single day, not to put so much pressure on myself. It's not like I
Yeah.
want to. I don't get all the way to here, but no, it's like I'm here, and then I really want to sort of enjoy the journey behind it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's definitely something I would tell myself in my 20s. Just like enjoy the time that you have, and it's okay to take your time, right?
Yeah.
And it's okay to explore and try different things.
Yeah.
And just the end goal you might not see, but
Yeah.
as long as you're putting your best foot forward and you're trying to improve one thing at a time,
Mhm.
you'll continue to grow, and that journey is going to be something meaningful.
Yeah.
Were there
Yeah.
any books or resources or maybe listen to a podcast or something that really shaped your 20s?
So I used to go to church a lot. I don't go as much now. Like I was
Mhm.
part of a Baptist church, a ton of books, but even the Bible itself,
Yeah.
right, is something that has definitely helped me kind of navigate life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, through those stories.
yeah. It's just like the community and
Whoa.
whoa, that is super cool.
That
I wonder if we got that on camera.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but yes, and I think the Bible definitely helped me
Yeah.
because I for one really believe that like our actions have consequences,
Mhm. Yeah.
and that I hope when we leave this world, there's something more than
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
rotting in the ground.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
I think
it's
we
no
all
better
hope
way to
that.
put
We all
that, yeah, right? But
It's not
I
really
do
a
think
vibe.
like our actions have consequences, and there's more to this life. Like there's something more to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there
Yeah.
a story from the Bible that you feel is really relevant to the 20s?
I think the whole Bible is really relevant because like
Yeah.
it's a lot of human beings, um, you know, in uncertainty,
Yeah.
right? That need to put their trust in God, and
Mm.
miraculous things happen, or like
Yeah.
character development happens,
Yeah.
or
Mm-hmm.
challenging things happen, and somehow, things work out.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
that, sometimes they don't, but
Yeah.
but there
That's
is
life,
that.
though.
Yeah, that's life,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you'll, one day at a time. We say that, but also there are some really tough things that happen in life that it's hard to explain,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like I've had friends pass away, I've had, patients get into really crazy accidents, right?
Yeah.
But I've also had patients get in really crazy scenarios, but their outlook on life is still very
Mhm.
positive.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like they're still looking to improve. Like I work with a stroke patient. That's my last patient. Just fresh in my mind. Just
Wow.
fairly young guy, like in his 40s, with two young kids. He had a stroke, and he's like having trouble with like coordinate with his hands. Like it's like he's having a lot of trouble, but he was still joking around with me, and
Yeah.
yeah. So I was putting some like muscle stim on him, right? And I was like, "Oh, do you feel that?" And then he was like, just playing around with me. He's like, "Yeah, it's killing me, it's killing me." And I was like freaking out. He's like, "No, he's like, I'm just kidding." Like,
Oh my
he's just taking like, he's what's happened to him is not something that's light. It's heavy.
Yeah.
It's heavy, but he's there. He's grinding. He's working hard. He's doing
Yeah.
all his exercises, and he's
Yeah.
just on his journey. Even though it's something that's bad that's
Yeah.
happened to him, he's still like pushing, working hard,
Yeah.
Yeah.
continue to grow, right?
I say
Yeah.
the same about, we were talking about our grandma because you treat her before this,
Yeah.
but it's the same with her. Like I think about in her 86 now years of life, how much she's been through and how happy she still is. And listen, we've seen her through moments of, doubt or grief and things like that, but she's moved through it. And at 86, she still has a great life. And I know you said that about your grandma too.
Yeah.
Is there any
yeah.
advice you feel like your grandma would have for
Yeah, my
For
grandma's
20-somethings?
Yeah, my grandma's 108 years old. She's
incredible?
her husband passed away when my mother was 6. So
Wow.
just being in China at the time, where there's like 2 world wars that she went through with 3 young girls, right?
my
It's like
goodness.
the stories that she has is just absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
And like just going on a boat to Vietnam, and then like somehow
Yeah.
making it to Canada
Mm-hmm.
with like 10 plus grandchildren, great grandchildren, and
Oh my goodness.
her daughters, and we're all here. Like I was the first person to graduate from university in my family. So
Wow.
it's like her story is like unbelievable, and the trials and tribulations that like I've gone through are just like nothing compared to
Yeah.
the
I think about
struggles
that too
that
with
she
my grandma.
had to go through. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah. So the advice that she would give, she sternly tells me like, wear your coat, like don't smoke. I don't smoke, like why stop telling me that? I don't smoke. Don't do any drugs. Yeah, I don't, like
Oh
or,
my
like,
goodness.
just stuff like that, like, right? But I think part of that she like really cares and loves us and
Yeah.
worries about us. But what I would say is like she's similar to myself when I was surrounded by all my friends and family. Like there's always someone with my grandma, like whether it's one of my
Yeah.
brothers, myself, my parents, her daughters, like my aunts, or my cousins. She has so
Yeah.
many she has so many people around her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this life journey, we definitely can't do it alone.
Yeah.
We
Mhm.
definitely can't do it alone.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
I love
Yeah.
that. My grandma says that too. All of our cousins and everything. Like I think just cultivating that support system
Yeah.
is what gets everyone through.
And I'm going to pivot a little bit into marriage because you speak so highly of your wife.
oh yes, absolutely. She's an amazing person. Amazing person.
What advice would you give to 20-somethings who, want to get married? Maybe they're about to get married. What advice would you have for them?
Well, I'm newly married, but I've been with my wife for almost 7 years now. September will be 2 years, so we're May now, so like a year and a half. I just think that you have to really communicate.
Mhm.
That's if you're feeling a certain way, if something makes you unhappy, if something makes you happy, I think you just have to communicate
Yeah.
Yeah.
and just never stop talking.
Yeah.
You know, when someone just like stops talking or like shuts somebody out or
Yeah.
or lets something boil over,
Mm-hmm.
then I think that's where really big problems happen. You can have
Yeah.
these little small problems that I think you can talk about that you can kind of work through.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect, and we're all on this journey together to make it like a really nice life, to grow
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
right? And if you have that same foundation, I think you'll be able to encourage each other, spur each other on, build each
Yeah.
other up, and be each other's like best support, best encouragement,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that.
I love
Yeah.
that. We've talked a lot about communication on this podcast, actually. And is that something that you felt like was like a journey? Like, do you find communicating hard, or did it come easy to you? Like, is it something you had to learn to do with someone, to be honest? Like, it can be scary, I feel like, for a lot of people to actually say what they're feeling if it's a hard thing that they're feeling.
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense.
absolutely. I think if you're uncomfortable with someone, you're not really gonna say what you really think.
Yeah.
Like if there's someone that you've just met, you're not gonna tell them exactly what you think. You might like sugarcoat it or
Mhm.
say it in such a way that is not so direct or
Mhm.
harsh or whatever. But I think if you cultivate certain environments where you know that that person supports you, that person loves you,
Mm-hmm.
they're coming from that lens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can say some really, I wouldn't say mean. You can say some really direct things
Yeah.
that they can understand that, hey, this person's saying that for my own good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you disagree, you can communicate,
Yeah.
right? And see where their perspective is,
Yeah.
for the sake of building each other up and
Yeah.
and for the good of each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
always
amazing.
say, even like we work together as sisters and we talk about this a lot, we have to be very good communicators with each other, otherwise things won't get done, or it's we kind of have our own marriage in some way, like
work
working together,
relationship.
a
Yeah,
work
we do, yeah.
relationship, I guess you could say. And I always say that if you have good intentions for each other and you lead from wanting to get to the root of the problem, then usually the communication should be fairly simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fairly simple. And it's not always easy, but if you both want to get to,
The same conclusion.
the same conclusion and you care about each other and you want the best for each other, then I feel like then you're set up for success.
Exactly. And I think
Yeah.
that if you just, it goes both ways. You got to cultivate that type of environment. It's got to
Yeah.
go both ways,
Yes,
right? Like, you got to
yeah.
be able to take it to and like
Yeah.
understand and try to process it, see why they're feeling a particular way or whatever,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
just like communicate. Yeah. And I mean, not being rude, not being
Yeah.
like
Yes.
coming from a like a spot of like, I don't know, whatever, but just really being open and receptive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then communicating well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
sounds a lot like it's that classic saying, it's us versus the problem, not me versus you.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah, I mean that takes time to build, and I think that's where things like loyalty and trust
Mhm.
and love and all these like good things compound to
Yeah.
all come together to be able to be mature and communicate effectively.
Yeah.
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 And I want to ask you the question now that we ask all of our guests, which is if you were to describe your 20s in 3 words,
Uh-huh.
what would they be?
Oof, I don't even know how to answer that. Like,
Whatever you
Like if you
describe
had
it
a book that
best.
was like about your 20s, what would
Uh-huh.
you say your little like opening?
oh, I
You
don't know. I don't know. 3 words is tough. Because I don't know if I want to say like 3 words that are bad or like 3 words that are good.
You can
know?
do both.
Maybe you can do all
If you
6.
want.
All 6. I don't know. I broke my neck and look at me now. Maybe that's pretty good. Like I broke my neck and I'm better and I'm still learning and growing. I don't know. you know?
I love that.
Yeah. I'm figuring it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he can figure it out,
Yeah.
you can.
One day at a
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I can't think of 3 words.
No, that
Too
was good.
complex.
I
Yeah.
liked that.
That
Yeah.
was
We
great.
have loose rules here. It's fine.
We're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that totally.
Yeah.
We're not
passes.
picky. That satisfied our. We're good. We're good.
Did someone give you advice in your 20s that
You disagreed with.
you disagreed with, or that you
Live
agreed
by.
with,
Yeah.
or that you live by? Yeah. Is it related to like something? Was there anything that your parents said? I could give you an example of
Give me
someone.
an example.
I'll give you an example. When I was younger, this wasn't necessarily in my 20s, but as a teenager, my dad always said when you're dealing with people and you're having a hard time, call them your pets. So your personal emotional trainer.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're having a difficult time, instead of getting uptight about it or being like upset, just think of it as a training moment of how to deal with people.
Uh-huh.
So like they're your emotional trainers, and that has stuck with me my entire life. Like every time I deal with something difficult, it's like it's an emotional trainer.
What's
it's teaching
crazy
me.
is I think he taught us that at like age 10.
Yeah,
I don't
that
even
was
think
in
we
my
were
20s.
teenagers.
We were very young, but that stuck with me forever. So I don't know if that helps at all.
I think my father and my mother are both business owners. And so are my two brothers. They
Wow.
I think that's from my parents.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they basically taught us, especially with my mother. My father's like very business,
Yeah.
but my mother is very people.
Hmm.
So she just treats people really, really well, and she will know that will come back in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah, in some magical, mysterious way. Like your mother told me about the experience that you had. Something about someone, you helping someone, and that someone ended up being some editor or something like that.
Okay.
That was able to help you out, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's just about like being a good person
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you know, creating an environment around yourself where you're like good things are happening.
Yeah.
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 Like kind of like bringing that into existence,
Yeah.
For sure.
and then you know that things will come back to
Yeah.
you.
I love that.
Somehow.
For
Yeah.
us, like we're big nonprofit people. Like we've been working with a nonprofit, a mental health nonprofit, since we were like, Ava and I were 16, and
Yeah.
I think Maddie joined when she
I
was
think
like
it's
16 or 17 or 18.
Yeah.
And it's something that I want to do forever, because it's like one of those things where I'm like, okay, it's something that's solely focused on helping someone else. And even like
giving.
we post videos for mental health care, and if it helps one person, it's worth it. And so I like to live by that as well.
Yeah.
Is just do as much good as you can, and it'll come back to you. And even if it doesn't, it makes you feel good. So it's
Yeah.
like, like
Yeah.
there's no harm in that.
We talk about this a lot, but I think as well, a lot of people say, I think my dad said this actually, that there's no difference between thinking about yourself and being miserable
Yeah,
or
I think
something.
Dad said that. Yeah.
Which I think is an extreme example of just doing good for other people brings you out of yourself, you know? So I think in many ways, just focusing on how you can help others is just a great thing to focus on.
yeah,
Mhm.
and that's
Did
your
that-
life's mission, I feel like.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
To
Yeah.
help other people.
I do think it is better to give than to receive.
Yeah.
100%. I
Yeah.
think
It
so
sounds
too.
like your mom and
Yeah.
dad like kind of shit, because now you're business and you're the personal side. You kind of applied
Yeah,
both of those
blended
things.
You got the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And I
Like
feel like
Hannah
also
Montana.
that's probably what's led to your success in business, would you say, is the service-oriented mindset?
Absolutely. Yeah, just
Yeah.
creating relationships with the patients, and like a lot of them call me their friend now, and like I
Yeah.
get invited to like their birthdays
Yeah.
or whatever, or podcasts or whatever,
Well,
know.
we always joke like we
Yeah.
felt like friends when I was going over to their clinic.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
all the time.
Oh God.
Yeah.
He was
so
like
much.
working on my knee. I'm telling him about my new career
Yeah.
that I'm embarking on.
Talk
and he's
about
just-
Formula One. Talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can
So good.
confirm, Jason will be your sports therapist and best friend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
You heard it
Seriously.
here first.
You did hear it here first, and you'll hear it from my grandma second.
Yes, yes.
The last question I have is, did you make any financial mistakes in your 20s?
Financial mistakes. So I worked really hard. So I did a lot of lifeguarding and a lot of swim coaching,
Mm-hmm.
and that was to pay for school.
Mm.
And you know, my parents, like, they always made sure that we had food on the table, we were all looked after, but we didn't have much. They're immigrants, like they don't know English, that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And my grandma and all these sorts of things, but they really set us up to do well,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? So I think financially, the big thing is, I think the thing that I really like now, and even now, is cars. So I
Mhm.
worked really hard to pay my tuition, but then all my money went into this one car that I purchased.
Yeah.
And so like that money could have done better. I could have invested it. I could have done other
Yeah.
things with it. But I think that is probably it's hard to call it a mistake looking back now, because I had so much fun and
Yeah.
all these memories and stuff like that. But Yeah, probably that.
Yeah.
Probably that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just for context, Jason drove here in a really cool BMW car.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he's not doing bad.
No, it's old racing junk. It's like from 2008. It's like no.
Yeah, he's also a huge racer, guys.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
He does
Yeah.
do
he's not
racing.
just a cool
not-
sports
yeah.
therapist that'll be your best friend. He's also a racer.
Yeah,
He
just
does
some
it all.
amateur stuff. Yeah.
Racing stuff. Is that why you wanted to buy the car when you were younger? Or were you not even into
I was
racing
just
then?
always interested. I
Yeah,
was just
yeah.
always interested, and yeah.
But if it brought you enough joy, was it really a
Maybe
mistake?
it wasn't a mistake. We're gonna go back on our question.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't a mistake.
yeah, but I would not recommend that.
Yeah.
to
Okay,
me.
yeah,
okay, so
okay.
you
Things
wouldn't
have
recommend
worked
it.
out, but I just it's
You put yourself in a pickle, maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
That, I could use that money for other things,
Yeah.
or,
Yeah.
or whatever. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the classic, like a car is an expense, not an investment.
yeah,
Kinda.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
true.
And so what advice would you give to somebody who's kind of in your position? Because you had to work really hard to get to where you are. Like you had to pay for your university
Yeah.
education. Like what advice would you give to someone who's like in their 20s working super hard and they're like, when am I going to like make money? Like this is so
Yeah.
frustrating.
Yeah, my dad has told me this, and he thinks I work a little bit too much. And the thing is, when we're younger, we have time, right? Tons of time. We hang out with our friends all the time, do
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
And we're healthy, hopefully, right?
Yeah.
But we have no money, so we can't really do very much, right?
Yeah.
And then now, when you're done school or your career is going, or you're doing whatever, like you have your health, hopefully, and you have some money,
Yeah.
right? And you can work really hard, but then all of a sudden, like you have money, you have time, but you don't have your health.
Yeah.
So he's saying like you have to try to find some balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Mm.
my dad's like, his health is pretty good, but like some of his friends not so good, right? And they have lots of money, they have lots of time, but they don't have their health, right? And she's kind of saying like,
Yeah.
try to balance those three things as best you can.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, you have to have some money.
Mhm.
And your health is really important. You got to work out. You got to
Yeah.
eat right.
Yeah.
You do all those things, and then balance your time. Like you need to invest your money right. You have to invest your health right. You have to invest your time right in
Yeah.
your friends, in your family, to cultivate these relationships, to
Yeah.
help your friends or your family, and they might in turn help you as well. Your
Yeah.
money needs to work. You need to invest and do these things as well, and then of course like working out, eating right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so on and so
Yeah.
forth, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Wonderful.
I really love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's
That's
just been
so-
a super fun chat,
Yeah.
Jason.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me, and the three of you are amazing as well. So
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Yeah.
link his the spot rehab.
Yeah, he doesn't want us to, but I think we should because
Yeah.
we've all used it. And if you're in the Markham area or you're in Toronto, it's definitely worth checking out. As we said, the entire family goes.
Yes.
If you are
Yeah.
broken,
Reason.
he will fix you.
Yeah, he will. He will.
If you are feeling any pain, he will fix you.
And also, Jason hosts his own podcast.
Uh-huh.
What is the name of your podcast?
So I run a YouTube channel called Driver's Paddock. I started it. It's like I don't really want to talk about it. It's like me doing some amateur racing, having a good time with my friends. But this is like to document some of these things,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
can look back at it, or I can show my kids one day, like
Yeah.
this is the cool stuff that I got to do.
Yeah.
And all that is because of just relationships that I've had through the clinic, through friends.
Yeah.
At the end, it's all about relationships, and like without that, it's like what is life really? Like,
Yeah, seriously.
yeah.
It's
So
true.
it's called Driver's Paddock, and then me and my other friend, we just started a podcast called Two Track Mind, but it's very like super. It's all about cars. It has nothing to do with anything we talked about today. So it's
Interested in
not the
cars.
right audience for that podcast. Yeah.
If you're interested in
Someone
cars,
might be interested in cars
Yeah,
watching us.
yeah.
You never know.
Maybe I doubt it though.
well, thank you so much,
so much,
Jason. It's
Jason.
been
Well,
wonderful.
Thanks for
This is
having
great.
me.
Thank you,
so
and thank
much.
you everyone for listening. I'm Ava,
I'm Madison.
And I'm Elle.
and welcome to the 20 something.
And now goodbye.
And now
Goodbye.
goodbye.